Up later though, but let's talk about the storms because they are inching in a little bit closer, but dying down as they start to reach that border here. So we're seeing them just towards the north. That line breaking up, mainly it is into Tennessee, but maybe we see a few showers starting to move into Jackson, Swain counties there off towards western North Carolina. Otherwise, we're off to a dry, muggy start. It's already warm with temperatures in the low to mid 70s out there. 73 in Greenville, 70 in Hendersonville, 66 in Brevard, feeling nice there. Your Juneteenth forecast for the day today. Around 8 o'clock this morning, like we just showed you, a lot of us are in those 70s, mid 70s. By noon, a mid 80 and then a 90 to come by the afternoon. So feeling those 90s today with the chance of thunderstorms starting to creep in during that time. Dangerous heat is on the way again. First alert weather days. 105 to 110 is what it's going to be feeling the hottest so far as we go on throughout this time frame. Tuesday, real temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, but this is what matters. Real feels what matters. Real feels of 105 to 110 for the upstate. So this is why we do have multiple first alert weather days coming Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday here for us. Afternoon forecast, we do have highs in the I would say upper 80s to low 90s, so still going to be nice and hot and humid today with a chance of thunderstorms in the forecast though. So what we're looking at with these thunderstorms, a lot of it still off towards our north into the Tennessee state line area. Some kind of flirting right now with that western North Carolina state line though along 26 and I-40, but hasn't really quite crossed the border. As we go through the afternoon, we have good chances of those storms to develop and continue to push on through from Franklin towards Asheville and Hendersonville. So these are the ones we're going to be watching closely through about 2-3 o'clock. As it starts to make its way through the upstate, though, you can see it just dies down. We don't have a good chance as we go through the afternoon towards the evening. So best odds for any strong, maybe 1 or 2 severe storms, mainly into western North Carolina with damaging winds and heavy rain being that threat. Then we talk about the heat dome. We get high pressure, we get really dry conditions, and we start to really heat things up across really the entire area here. You can see those pinks sort of flashing for that heat dome risk in those areas with states even nearby from Georgia upwards towards North Carolina with dangerous heat of real feels 105 to 110. So showing across the entire area, we have real feels of 100 to 105. This is Sunday afternoon. And if you think this is bad, which it is, I mean, it's dangerous heat. We're going to continue to ramp things up with 102 to way into next week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, highs of 95 to 98. But what's going to be worse are those real feels like 105 to 110. Even on Tuesday, we were looking some people over feeling 110, probably over the heat at that point too, right? Who's not going to be? Afternoon forecast today already going to be hot and humid out there though this afternoon towards this evening. I mean, highs of still 90 for some to the upper 80s, feeling like the 90s no matter where you're at across the upstate. Low to mid 80s here for the mountains, but a chance of thunderstorms today. Kind of one of our last up until we really start to dry out and just get this heat dome to form, which we'll talk about, and then that's when the heat settles on through this weekend into next week. But a chance of what we could see with those thunderstorms coming on into the mountains first, later on mid to late morning, 11 to noon, seeing a potential line, but starting to see that line break up, which is great news. We want to see it come apart, which I think we will by this afternoon. 1 to 3 as it starts to make its way through the upstate. Pickens and Oconee County over 85 into the mountains, still seeing a good chance of maybe 1 or 2 severe storms, something stronger, but that line just kind of falling apart across the upstate this afternoon. What we could see threat-wise, damaging winds. It's going to be number 1 with any sort of severe storm. Heavy rain on top of that. Then we build the heat. This heat dome starts to really come on through. High pressure, dry, and we have real feels temps of 105 to 110 as we go through next Tuesday. Just exactly what are you going to feel where you're at? Here's a look at your future heat index, 100 to 105 across some of the areas here for the upstate. This is why we have a first alert weather day, multiple in place, because look, it just rises as we go into Monday afternoon and evening, 102 to 106. And this is things when things get real bad. I mean, 107 to 112 in Lawrence as we go through Tuesday afternoon and evening. This is dangerous heat. A lot can happen with this heat if you are going to be outside. Heat stroke, heat exhaustion, not something to mess around with. This is why we have multiple first alert weather days Sunday through Tuesday for the upstate, just highlighted red on the so far as we head into this June. You know, a lot of people wondering when's this heat going to hit that we had like last summer. Well, it's coming our way. It's already hot out there, but this is dangerous heat that we just mentioned, you know, that easily you could fall sick from. So as we go through the next several days, things really heating up out there. It's already off to a warm and muggy start on this Thursday. A lot of us stepping out to temperatures in the mid to upper 70s right now across the upstate, low to mid 70s towards the mountains. The next 12 hours heating up to an 80 by 10, a mid 80 come this afternoon towards this evening, close to a 90, feeling like the low 90s as we go through this time. Above average, feeling a heat wave that really starts during this time with highs in the mid to upper 90s, but feeling like 105 to 110. And we'll talk about those real feels. Today it's hot in general. Still, again, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, 80s across the mountains. But today we do pair, well, in general, with a good chance of some storms. I would say over the next couple of hours, starting to see them trying to make their way across the mountains from about 10 to 11 o'clock here. We're going to see that good chance of a line potentially forming. It's that line that could come with some strong, damaging wind gusts that we're going to be on the lookout for. About 9 to 1 o'clock, that's when we have the best chance from Asheville towards Hendersonville. Seeing this line potentially break up, though, about 3 o'clock towards the upstate, and then we're looking good into the evening and for the rest of the time frame here. So showing those storm threats, damaging winds and heavy rain, number 1 and 2 threat here for you. We're going to see that best chance into the mountains. Then we build in this heat, high pressure, we dry out, we get those dangerous heat, something that could easily cause heat stroke or heat exhaustion if you are going to be outside. Just don't go outside these days if you don't have to. We're already bringing you that first alert, warning you about it days ahead. Again, Sunday through Tuesday with highs in the mid to upper 90s. Feeling, though, this is the catch. This is why we have the first alert. Feeling like 105 to 110, even a little higher than 110. We'll talk about exactly when and who for coming up. But today it is hot, it is humid. We have thunderstorm chances here in the forecast for you by this afternoon, evening. I'm watching a line of storms potentially coming on in. Now, these storms have been pretty lame, to be honest, and lame in a good way, how we want them. Not showing really much in terms of strong to severe storm categories, but we are going to see them move on through the afternoon, evening, 1 to 3 o'clock, really picking up across the upstate too, even chances of it continuing. This is when we could see some strong damaging winds off towards the east, moving through the upstate about 1 to 3. And then after that, we're looking pretty much in the clear for the rest of the afternoon and evening. Damaging winds, heavy rain with these storms. Then we get the heat to build. A heat dome, you can see, because that high pressure system just off towards our east, that is building on in with dangerous as well. So let's take graphics and I can show you a closer look at exactly where we're seeing some of those storms to come on in. Pittman Center area towards Hartford. You can see even off towards Walnut. If we could see again, yes, thank you, Cody. Graphics full. Over 25, and yeah, it's gonna be mid to upper 90s, but it's gonna feel like triple digits, even potentially above 110 in certain areas for certain people as we head into Tuesday. That dangerous heat. It's already hot today, but today's not going to be one of those first alert weather days. We have today highlighted red for a chance of the storms that could be strong to severe, which we'll talk about. Yes, it's going to be hot and humid, but not as bad as how we're going to feel really the start of next week for a few days. Starting with those storms, some are actually starting to flirt with that line coming into western North Carolina. And we're going to see this continue, this line potential to roll on through about, I would say 1 to 3 across the mountains, 3 to 5 for the upstate. Maybe 1 or 2 storms pop that could be severe off towards western North Carolina. Isolated chances really anywhere though today. Just best chances in the mountains into western North Carolina and off towards the east. What we could see our best chance with those storms, damaging winds is going to be the number 1 threat, and then heavy rain on top of that as well. Then we get the heat dome to really settle on through. We get high pressure, dry conditions, and dangerous heat. You can see those pinks popping, getting close to a purple color, specifically by Tuesday with feels like temps 105 to 110. So going through our first alert weather day starting on Sunday, that first one, your future heat index feels like temperatures anywhere from 100 to 105 across the